My name is Tom Perry. I am the founder of Oyster Company. I started the business a little over 10 years ago, and the thesis was that I wanted to grow. Well, I started out. I wanted to grow a better oyster than I was seeing coming out of the Virginia region, and I was really excited about the growing methods I was seeing in Canada, specifically the floating method of growing oysters. So the thesis was, after lots of testing, that if I grew an oyster floating at the surface of the water column in big open water, it would deliver a unique product that could really compete well with the higher end oysters on the market. And we did it on a small scale, and we found out that we were right. We were having a lot of success with it. Once I started learning more about the oyster and understanding that I could really have an impact on growing a high quality oyster that the market appreciated and paid for, it was just something that excited me a whole bunch. And most people are eating oysters especially at home, during a time of celebration. And it's really fun to be part of that. In order for me to figure out what grew the type of environment would grow a fantastic oyster, early on in my oyster life, I tested 9 different bodies of water, and I analyzed them over the course of an entire summer. So what's great about Virginia is you can learn a lot about an oyster through the course of a summer, just how it's going to grow, how it's going to perform, and what it's going to look like. From what I gleaned from those experiments was that growing an oyster on the open Chesapeake Bay, so on the surface, was producing an oyster that was different than anything I'd really seen locally in the region. And I really liked the shape and look and the taste and feel of the oyster itself. Like, this is the the final stage in the nursery. We'll grade it on a 6mm screen, and either by hand or with our Suico system. And we'll measure out about 1 liter, and we'll take that liter and we'll put it in a 4mm bag, and I'll dump that in here. And this bag, we'll fold it over, we'll put a pipe slider on it, and it'll actually go into another bag that protects it, and that will go into our floating oyster cage on our farm out on the Chesapeake Bay. And these oysters will sit out there for about a month and a half before we'll bring it back in. About a month and a half later, this bag's shot up. I'd say this entire bag's about 50% full. It's grown quite a bit in a short period of time. So, as you can see, just all the different size variations, like right out of the bag. I really do like to see the oysters still have some really nice shape. I'm really liking how these are coming along. And we're testing a whole bunch of different densities out right now, and this is on the lower end. We went in at about 1 inch. Getting up and out here really long. Let's open them up and take a look at them. Starting to actually take shape. They look fantastic. Yeah, this is what we're doing now. Is we're putting in the hopper. The hopper goes up the conveyor and drops onto this sorting tube, which has 3 different sizes. So there's the first drop, second drop, and then it comes out at the end. We just sold our business to Atlantic Aqua Farms. They're based in Canada, and they own a couple farms in the U.S. They also recently purchased Ward and Mobjack Oyster Company, which we're working together with a lot now. And they also own Muscungus Bay Oyster Company up in Maine. And it's been tremendous working with a new team that shares my vision of what oysters are and what they can be. So in so many ways, even though we've only been owned by them for 2 months now, we're putting forth a lot of projects that I've had slated for 3, 4, 5 years from now. And we're bringing them to the forefront now. And I'm just so excited to be able to expand what we're already doing in a bigger way. So to grow better oysters, grow more of them, and getting them out to more people in the world. We'd like to continue to work with Mike in Oyster Seed Holdings as we continue to grow. It's just important for us to be diverse and have relationships in the most important piece of this whole equation, which is the hatchery. If we don't have healthy hatchery relationships, we don't have an industry. So it's really important for us to maintain and build those relationships.